Asking yourself, am I delegating the right amount, is an important question for you as well as the members of your staff. Delegating is entrusting a task to another person. Here we're referring to an assignment given that's beyond one's normal job description. This might be adding additional duties or handling a unique or special project. A key aspect of delegating is granting autonomy and trust to staff members who are looking to develop skills and want an opportunity to grow in their careers. In this episode, we'll look at the value delegating has for the manager and staff member and what the manager must remember if delegating is to be successful. Hi, I'm Rick Kendall.
And I'm Fred Ball.
Welcome to Management Mastery. The purpose of these podcasts is to share what each of us has learned about good and bad management in our combined over 40 years of experience, both as managers and executive coaches. During that time, we've coached managers at every level in companies from Fortune 100s to brand new startups in all major businesses, including nonprofits, government, and education. So whether you're just starting in your first management position or are an experienced manager looking to strengthen your management skills, we know our podcast will be valuable to you.
Rick, in one aspect, delegation is a key function, if not the key function of a manager. And clearly, in the coaching that we do, and especially with folks who are newer to the position, it is absolutely key that they build the delegation skill into their repertoire. And why is that? Because nobody can do all the work of your department, and even some of it perhaps better than you can do it. So every manager must delegate. Effective delegation brings a number of benefits to both the manager and the department. To begin with, it creates a positive culture based on initiative and accountability. Gives you the opportunity to set challenging, measurable goals together with constant evaluation and course correction, and that all helps staff members to understand what their role is and how the process is going to work. Delegating empowers members of your team and boosts morale. I have to tell you that young professionals want to be involved, and they want to be involved in things that are meaningful to them, and delegation is one way to do that. And so because of that, it promotes enthusiasm, innovation, and cooperation. And it also helps to build trust and ideally increases communication and engagement among various members of your team.
Oh, I agree. And when you do it well and successfully, it can actually stimulate creativity because people feel that they're empowered to go beyond the immediate assignment, at least in terms of coming up with new ideas. So it stimulates creativity and innovation and helps build a broader range of skills within your own staff. And in some circumstances, delegation can increase your department's expertise in industries you service through training and new hires. You're just broadening the reach of your department. And it can help you identify critical issues for clients because, again, people are going beyond their narrow focus of their immediate job. And it can also provide opportunity to give additional services to your client organizations.
That creativity and innovation, I think, is really critical. If people feel that the boss is willing to delegate and involve people, it's going to bring out the best in them, and they're going to focus on the things that the department's trying to accomplish and come up with good ideas.
Yeah, and people will start volunteering too. They'll say, "Gee, this looks like it needs to be done over here. Could I take that on?"
Absolutely. Then on the other side, effective delegation can also prevent bottlenecks, and it is absolutely frustrating for staff members who need rapid decisions or information and can't get it because they can't get in touch with the boss. So this process of delegation improves your department's efficiency and productivity. And it also means that you can be more available because you're not focused every minute of the time on doing the job. Delegation can mean that you're available for emergency backup if needed.
Right, right. And when well managed, delegation has a number of values for the employees too. We've touched on a couple of them, but it gives them opportunities for professional development by enabling them to develop new skills, to broaden their portfolio, if you will, and increase their knowledge. And it shows the team member respect because delegating requires you to give them a certain amount of independence and requires some confidence on your part as manager that they're capable of taking on that responsibility. And it gives the employee the autonomy to do the job as they see fit. If done well, that's what you want. You want them to use their own creativity and discretionary judgment and be held accountable for the results.
That autonomy that they're looking for is what professionals in the marketplace want today. They're looking for the opportunity to take something on and have the autonomy to go ahead and successfully do it. It also and part of that is that that gives them the opportunity to show the boss that they're capable of performing and bringing innovation to the job. Overall, good delegating provides a culture that encourages taking initiative. So that's the other part of this thing. You're now in charge. You take the initiative. It gives you the chance to learn experience, as Rick was talking about. And it gives you the opportunity to build a stronger relationship with the boss in the process as you are reporting on your progress.
This also gives your staff the ability and the chance to deal with and learn from smart and more experienced colleagues because they're going out beyond their comfort zone or their usual group of people they work with, and it can provide a forum for a staff member to present their work both to their colleagues. And get inspiration from others that they present their work to. And finally, successful delegation can lead to positive recognition for the staff members' efforts because they get the credit for the job that they've done.
They get the credit if the manager gives it to them. A key aspect of this that you have to be willing to do that.
Oh yeah, you're delegating not just the job but the credit. Yes, I agree.
Yep. So, what are some of the most common reasons that some managers don't delegate? One is that it just seems to them that they're passing off work to someone else that they could do themselves.
Or they think they could do the work better, faster, and with fewer chances of errors. Which sometimes could be true.
Some managers are simply nervous about letting go. Giving up direct control of an assignment takes confidence and perspective on the part of the manager.
Yeah, and they also may feel that the time needed for good delegating will perhaps take longer than doing the work themselves. In some cases, they may be correct in this, but it's important to also consider the benefits to the employee and the overall department when you're calculating the return on time invested. That is, it's not just getting the specific task done, it's also developing your staff and improving the efficiency and effectiveness of your department.
So, although there's some validity to each of the concerns that managers have, they have to, just as Rick said, you have to take into effect the fact that it's good for staff, it's good for the department, it increases the skills, and the manager will be more highly valued, visible and valued by the members of their own staff.
Right. Well, what does the manager need to do to ensure that the delegation is successful? Well, first of all, timing's important. It's key not to suggest that you'll be giving an important assignment to someone before there's an actual need, because once you hint at the possible assignment to somebody, they're likely to want to get started right away. So also, if the need for the assignment goes away, then you could have a very disappointed, frustrated staff member because they were all revved up to do something and then they're not going to get to do it. So timing of talking about delegating an assignment is critical.
That's clearly one of the important things that the manager needs to keep in mind. Another is that you have to choose the right person to do the work. Personality can be an important factor as well as skills and experience. For example, you don't want to select someone who prefers to work alone for an assignment that requires them to work with colleagues.
That's really true. And the other thing that I have found in my experience as a manager is, I mean, you mentioned picking people that have the skills and experience, but if you're lucky, you'll have staff people that you know just would even be better at the assignment than you would, and or at least you know that they intuitively and intellectually know what's required, so you can judge how much oversight you need to give them. So you want to be evaluating their ability and their experience and just the knowledge they have for the task, because again, they may bring more to the task than you in some instances.
One of the other things that can happen is that young managers will sometimes assume that when they delegate an assignment to someone, that they will automatically understand what the value will be to the department or the team. You have to let them know what the value will be and make sure that they understand it. You also need to let them know you have faith in them. And as we've talked before, you have to give them the authority to make their own decisions as to how to carry out the assignment, as well as having the accountability for its success or failure. That accountability in our coaching again and again comes up when young people want to have not only the responsibility but the accountability.
Oh, absolutely. And as we've both been talking about, I think the manager has to be able to assess accurately the capabilities of the person they're delegating to. And because you don't want to overdo it, but on the other hand, it's critical that you give clear directions along with the specific goals and timeframes. You've got to assume on one level that anything you don't explicitly say is going to be up to the discretion of the employee. So it's, how much discretion do you want to give to the employee? And that's going to be on a case-by-case basis. Therefore, all the critical aspects of the assignment have to be clearly spelled out at the outset. And you must also make yourself available to the employee to answer questions or resolve unanticipated issues, because they will come up.
You also have to make sure you provide the necessary resources and training that may be required.
Oh, yeah, and you've got to agree on how often you will get together and review the work, as well as what the critical milestones or checkpoints are, the deadlines, and what's to happen when.
The key about that is that once you agree to set a meeting schedule, that you stick with it. Again and again in our coaching, comes up that the manager gets busy and is unavailable for a meeting, and that can lead to a second meeting, and all of a sudden you've got a situation that it's sending the wrong message about the assignment, that it's not important to you as the manager, and you're not interested in the progress. This can easily lead to the staff member no longer taking it seriously.
Yeah, and at these meetings, you really need to give the staff an opportunity to present their successes as well as any issues they're facing. And you've got to encourage a give and take on their work. For example, what suggestions do they have for improvements or other changes? What problems are they facing, and so on. In a non-judgmental way, you want this free discussion with the person, so you're showing openness to suggestions, even if you don't go along with them. And if you don't go along with them, you want to carefully explain why, but you want to always be encouraging that kind of two-way feedback when you're meeting with the person you've delegated a task to.
And going beyond that, you want to make sure that if it's beyond suggestions, but there are corrections you need to make, that you do that immediately. It makes no sense to hold back and say, "Oh, I'll do that another time," because what happens is it never gets done. You also, on the other hand, want to give recognition for work well done. Remember that the employee is responsible for any success in the assignment, and you're responsible for any failures. The other thing you want to do is you want to say thank you often.
So true. In this episode, we've discussed the value of delegation to both the manager and to staff members, and the steps that managers must take if they want delegation to be successful. We hope you have found this podcast useful and will come back again for more management mastery. If you have any comments about this or any of our episodes, or would like to find out more about our other services, including one-on-one coaching and group seminars for managers, visit our website at careercoachclass.com. Thanks for listening.